All right, let's go ahead and get into this, guys. Let's go ahead and get into this Salamangreat deck profile featuring the legend of salads, Goukizeme. The floor is yours, my friend.
If you have any questions, by the way, while I'm like saying anything, just like let me know.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, cool. I play a pretty standard ratio. I don't know why people are deviating from this, but I play 3 Spinny, 3 Foxy, 2 Jack, 1 Gazelle, and 1 Falco. This is all standard. I see people playing like 1 Foxy. I just don't think that's good. You need to be able to out floodgates this format. There's not much else to say about this. I see people just not playing this card at all, like Falco. Falco's just really good.
Falco is a very strong card, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just need to be able to bounce your Gazelle back to hand, and that's the only way to recur it sometimes. The next little portion here is like a big Cybers engine. I didn't know what to run for whether to run Debug or Buffalo, so I played both. Played 2 Debug, 2 Buffalo, and 2 Microcoder and 1 Code Generator. The theory behind this is you don't want to brick on by playing 3 of each, so I just played 2 of each. They're both really good normal summons. And these are just extenders. This gets you Omni Negate, and this foolishes every Salamangreat except for Gazelle or Jack Jaguar.
Yeah, Microcoder is an insane card.
I love Microcoder. In theory, when building this deck, I was like, yep, I'm going to make Heat Soul with this, but most of the time I made Transcode.
A lot of that's popping up. I mean, it's Pride Month, right?
Yeah. Shoutouts. I love Transcode. He has a sniper rifle, and he supports my rights.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, the cool thing is you can make like Sunlight Wolf, and then you can use Microcoder and Sunlight Wolf to go into Transcode, bring back the Sunlight Wolf, and then relink it from there. In theory, Code Generator is really good because, as I said, it foolishes most of your deck, but most of the times going first, it felt really awkward, and I would side it out games 2 or 3. I would definitely like not play this and just play a third Microcoder.
Right, sure.
Going forward.
SC Nathaniel says in the chat real quick, to just give you a quick interruption, I recognize some of these cards from my CodeTalker deck in Master Duel. I feel like a lot of CodeTalker cores are making their way into Salamangreat just generally, right? Like, you're running a lot of similar cards in those decks.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to run like Debug, and you're always going to run like Sound of Mining and stuff like that. I am playing a lot of CodeTalker cards because that is my favorite deck.
Yep.
I was thinking about playing that for the regional. I felt like objectively Salad was like a little bit better because I feel like you need like droplets for CodeTalkers, and I just don't own that.
Sure.
But yeah, not much else to say about this. I didn't see this at all during the regional. I wish I did. Crazy ass normal summon. Basically just lets you draw 2.
Pot of Greed, baby.
Buffalo. Pot of Greed, good card. Controversial opinion.
All right, so what else we got in that little deck? Let's see what we got.
For monsters, we have the hand traps basically. 2 Valor, 2 Ash, 2 Nibiru, 2 Crow. I regretted not playing or siding Droll at all. It's really good versus Drytron, which is what I think to be the deck's worst matchup. I think I lost to it once at the regional, and I didn't run into it again. Crow is good versus that deck because you just Crow the Ben 10, but now they have 2 Ben 10, so it's like a little iffy. But yeah, not much to say about this. Another thing about this deck list is I just wouldn't, in playtesting before the regional, I just wouldn't draw Nibiru. And I feel like that's not that great when certain decks, like, you have Ash Valor that trades for 2 cards, but if you have Valor Nibiru, then it's like, it trades for their whole board, essentially.
Sure, yeah. And now something I will question you about here is I notice the ratio of hand traps. You're running 8 hand traps in total, core hand traps. So,
I'm running 11 going second cards.
Okay, sure.
I think it was 12 at a point, but I don't know what the 12th was.
What's the logic in the 2 Ash rather than 3, just to improve the drawing into your like starters?
I wanted to have as much different like varied forms of interruption going second as possible. In playtesting, that actually wasn't that great though. I would definitely say like max out on these 3 and then maybe side Crow. Because Crow's really good versus Brandon Despia, which I didn't play against a single time at the regional, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was just kind of like a weird card.
Crow and Ghost Bell, I feel like, are the anti-Despias in a way.
I like Ghost Spell, but at the same time, it's like iffy. If they have Brandon Lost, it does like nothing.
Sure, that's true. Actually, yeah.
If they have Brandon Lost, I can't respond to like Lupelli on Albion on summon, and I can't like negate the activation of Brandon in red.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So it's not as good. Whereas I can always Crow Brandon in red's target.
Very true. Crow is a very, very good hand trap this format. Droll as well.
Yeah. I have more going second cards in here. It's just that they weren't monsters, so I didn't include them here. But not much to say here. I kind of wanted to play Imperm, but the reason I played Valor over it was Heat Soul. If you draw on your opponent's turn with Heat Soul and you draw Imperm, it's kind of dead. But if you draw Valor, it's live.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. That makes sense, actually.
Not much else to say about these. Good hand traps. Bit of a weird ratio. Just draw into your hand traps, I guess. Just it's a skill issue.
Draw the out, bro.
Just draw the out. For the spells, freshly at 3, I'm playing 3 Circle.
Let's go.
Dude, this card's insane. I forgot to play Desires in this deck, and it didn't really matter because I had the consistency anyways. Sorry about the glare. I didn't even realize I was there.
That's totally fine. I mean, hey, I think people know Circle. Trust me, they don't need to see the card in it. They know exactly what that fucking card does.
Card is nice.
It's crazy.
I'm playing 3 Chalice. This is the other going second card I was talking about. Being able to just like actually react to what your opponent's doing is really good. Like if all they have is Scythe Block, then you just react with the Scythe of the Chalice, and then you can actually just play the game.
Some call it the poor man's droplet.
It is the poor man's droplet. I don't own droplet. 3 Silent Mining cards really good. And then I have like 3 1-ofs. I have 1 Will, 1 Cosmic, and 1 Sanctuary. Cosmic's really good this format, just because, Scythe, I'm only playing 1 of it because I don't want to lose immediately to Mystic Mine. I want to have multiple outs for it. There's not much else to say here. I don't know if anyone else is like running Will right now. I think Will is insane because you just reborn the Silent Wolf going on turn 3, and you have like, you play around Nibiru sort of.
Okay, sure. And usually with Cynet Mining, Cynet is the discard for cost, right?
Yeah, you discard any card from your hand for cost.
Okay, any card. I thought it had to be a monster.
I think it Sends the Grave. I think it Sends the Grave for
Sends
cost,
the Grave,
actually.
specifically.
Yeah, so you can't play it under D-Shifter.
Right.
Which makes it a little sussy, but...
I mean, well, D-Shifter is just kind of an asshole anyway, to be honest with you, with any deck that relies so heavily on Graveyard, as like Salad tends to.
Being said, I did play against Flunderies, and I didn't get shifted, so I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Well, that's a first.
Yeah, I always get shifted. And just lucky that I didn't, honestly.
Right, yeah, absolutely. And now, why the 1 Cyclone, though? That's interesting.
I already said, I don't want to lose to mine.
Okay, so just including just the 1, and not anymore.
And sometimes you play against, like, Eldritch, and you draw, and it's just good. I play more in the side. It's just that, like, 1 in the main is all I really want to do.
And we'll go
this
to
was the
later,
other going second card. Yeah, so I played 12 going second cards, including the Cyclone.
Okay, fair enough, then. Fair enough.
Yeah, and for the main deck, that's almost it. I just have 3 more cards in the trap cards.
Yeah, of course.
People are trying to opt out of the Salad Traps. I think that's like a little weird. I'm playing 1 Signet Conflict to search off a microcoder. It's an Omnigate. 1 Salamangreat Roar and 1 Salamangreat Rage. I don't have to explain these too much, but Conflict is crazy because not only does it banish whatever you're negating, they can't activate cards with the same name until the end of the next turn. So if they try to mine you, you conflict it, and then if they have a second mine, they can't activate it.
It definitely sounds like you were preparing to play against a lot of mine.
I hate the card, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. And Mad Wobbler says in chat, in relation to this real quick, if you are up against mine, the game will probably go on long enough to draw that 1 of Cosmic.
Yeah, 100%. There was a point where Flunderies Mystic Mine me, and I just had to wait, and eventually I drew Rage, and I just set it, and like they tried to pass with just mine. I popped it in the end phase, and I was just good.
Hell yeah.
Like I just won from there. For the extra deck, I played very standard Salamangreat ratios. I played 3 Balinks, 3 Sunlight Wolf, 1 Mirage Stalio. There's a CodeTalker engine in here because playing CodeTalkers. I played the Link 2, Heat Soul, 2 Transcode, 1 for going first and 1 for turn 3, and the 1 Access Code. And then I played 1 Lingery Bow, 1 Update Jammer, and 1 Splash Mage.
I was waiting for the Splash Mage. Yeah, I was waiting for that Splash Mage.
Just Cyber's good stuff, essentially.
Yeah, right. Okay, so talk a little bit, if you don't mind, about some of these options here. For example, you and I were talking a little bit before we were getting this set up about Heat Soul and how that seems to have increased consistency for a lot of Salamangreat decks, along with 3 of Circle. So what are your thoughts on just like Heat Soul and how it fits into Salamangreat decks right now?
I don't think you should be building Salamangreat around Heat Soul. I think you should just be using it as like a consistency option. Like if you need to like end on Heat Soul plus hand traps, that's cool. That's fine. But like the Solid Engine, it's already getting you disruption. I don't know why you would just solely focus on Heat Soul when you could just actually play the traps.
Right. And again, real quick, shouts out to Balinks, one of the best Link ones in the game.
It's actually insane. The amount of times I got torrential and I just like protected with Balinks was like crazy.
Oh yeah.
Heat Soul's just like, it's also good for going second because of the attack gain. There were many times where I would like use my Axis code to like kind of like bait out. Like if they have it, they have it, and they would have a Nibiru, and I would live a turn, and I would have to go like transcode into Heat Soul, and I would use Update Jammer to like make them both be able to attack twice, and that's enough for game. There's just a lot of weird odd scenarios where Heat Soul's attack gain just comes up. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not much else to say about this. Lingeribo is just good versus trap decks.
Oh yeah,
Like
no,
if
Lingeribo.
you know your opponent has like an imperm.
Yeah, and I mean, you play so many Cybursts, I mean, you might as well just run Lingeribo, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, Update Jammer is the OTK enabler. I mean, pretty standard, I feel like, for the most part.
Yeah. A neat little interaction I like here is if you've used a CodeTalker on turn 1, and you need resources like turn 3, you can go like Splash Mage, bring back Microcoder, and then link into Heat Soul, and that will get you a search for like Sign Up Mining if you have a discard, plus you get the draw for Heat Soul.
Very nice.
Not much else to say about this extra deck. I wish I had a secret access code, but
one day
it is gold.
One day. While you're getting that side deck ready, Mad Wobbler says in the chat, last time I went up against Salad, I flipped Goukizeme when Splash was on the board.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Sorry for your loss.
Yeah, Rip Bozo.
Rip Bozo. Yeah, that's true. Smoking the salad pack tonight. All right, let's look at that side deck. What we got?
For the side deck, I'm just playing a bunch of good stuff. I'm playing 3D Barrier, 2 Anti-Spell, 2 Rivalry, 1 Reboot. This came out versus Flunder. 2 more Cosmic, 2 Bell, and 3 Token Collector. Just standard stuff. The only thing I didn't like here was Bell. If going into another event, I would probably play Droll over it, because I actually didn't realize that like Drytron was going to be played that much this event. Ben 10 at 2 was kind of a mistake. I'm not going to lie to you.
Ben 10 at 2 is crazy.
Dude, it's not great.
I don't understand how that happened.
There's a guy in my locals named Kazi, and he likes to like, he goes into Utopia Draco Future, but the other rank 1 he uses is Recital Starling to search DD Crow.
Whoa.
It's kind of insane.
That is crazy. All right, so what are we looking at? D-Barrier to insta-win against Branded.
There's other things this format that wins against too, like Synchro decks.
True.
Round 1, I played against Speedroid, and game 3, I just D-Barriered. And I had nothing else too.
So, yeah, and that really doesn't hurt you either, because you're really only playing Lynx.
Yeah, so it's a very popular card that does nothing against me. That being said, another really popular card is Nibiru, and that does do something versus me.
Nibiru is a problem.
I didn't put Crossout in this deck because I felt like it didn't have space, but like I kind of just played with the they gotta have it to win mentality, and you know when they had it, and I lost. Which is just it happens.
Yeah, true. And there was an interesting interaction, if you want to share it, that you had with Reboot. I think this was last night. You and I were talking about the earlier.
Oh, well, I was just talking about, like, I was playing against my friend Juan, who I actually drove up with the regional with him.
Shuts out.
I just, like, he tried to improve my access code, and I rebooted it.
Always play Reboot in your side deck, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs. That is the sign. That is the side deck card.
Just draw the out.
Just draw the out.
Just draw the out.
Should be a 3.
This card was kind of an auto win sometimes. The only time I saw it really, I saw it versus Drytron, and it didn't matter because I didn't have engine. I lost that game, but I think I drew it my last round versus Adventure Punk Dragon Link, and it just kind of won me the game. Too many spells.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, they can't quick launch, they can't write.
Yeah, I put Rivalry in here, but like sometimes Rivalry just like doesn't hurt the opponent that much. There's certain decks like Drytron is almost always machines. So it's just like it doesn't really do that much.
Maybe it's Sword Sultani kind of as well. I noticed there's some Sword Sultani decks that run that in the side deck.
Yeah, because they're all worms.
Yeah, exactly.
That deck is cool. I like that deck. But not much else to say about the side deck. It's just traps.
Yeah,
and
purple stuff.
Collector. Token Collector is just an auto win versus anything playing Adventure.
Yeah. And Sword Soul as well, to be honest with you.
Yeah. They can't really play.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so before we get into any sort of combo plays, does anybody in the chat have any questions about the main deck, side deck, extra deck for Goukizeme here? Before we get into the real spice here, the real flavor of salad. What kind of flavor salad are you running today? Is it CodeTalker flavored?
Yeah.
CodeTalker flavored salad. That's delicious right there.
It's Rain's Fruit Loops.
You're going into the brains. Hell yeah. Going into the brains. All right, well, let's get this thing started then. Looks like we're all good on that front.
There's some cool like couple card interactions I like. Where like I don't like to think of this as a one card combo kind of deck. You just kind of like improv it as you go. But I do think any access to Microcoder, any Salad, and any access to Gazelle gets you a pretty good board of like 2 Omnis. Basically, I don't think I can do this one upside down because my extra monsters don't.
If you got to flip it, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
You're all good, my friend. Just dictate it as you go.
Basically, you need to be able to specially Gazelle for this, so you need any other Salamangreat, access to Gazelle, and Microcoder. So what I do is I normal summon the Salamangreat, link it off for Balinks, and that can trigger not only your Balinks but your Gazelle to special summon itself, and then add Sanctuary. I would draw Sanctuary a ton during this event, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, that sucks.
It is what it is. A lot of times going second, I guess I should mention this. A lot of times going second, you don't need Sanctuary, so like you search it and then it's discard fodder for like Foxy. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
With Gazelle, if I know I'm getting the Omni Negate, I like to send Rage, but you can also send Roar if you want to. Next, I like to Reborn the whatever extender it is. In this case, it's Spinny. I link 2 into Sunlight Wolf.
Now, do you real quick? Do you discard X card there, or is it just specifically the trap?
What did you say?
For when you discard, I think it was when you brought back Spinny. Is that just X card, like just any card, or is that specifically do you want to try to discard, like if you have the trap in hand?
Spinny just reborns itself and banishes with leave the field if you have a Salamangreat monster on the field.
Okay, what was the discard then?
The discard, I'm talking about like a Foxy. Foxy discards
Foxy.
any Salamangreat card, and then you special summon it, and then pop a face-up Swallow Trap optionally.
Sure. Okay. So just any Salamangreat then.
Yeah.
Cool.
Spinny's just like the most generic one. Everything else requires you to have like a bit of setup. So
right.
Spinny's just a really good example for an extender.
Yeah, makes sense. Sure.
So I link those 2 with the Sunlight Wolf. Then I link off the Gazelle. You always want to have recursion in this deck, so you always have to do like this, where you link 1 into Lingaribo, and then you can trigger the Sunlight Wolf to get back the Gazelle for next turn. Because Gazelle is just like, it's a little too much. Really good extender.
Also, from here, anti-imperm too.
True, but by this point they probably impermed the Gazelle.
True. Good point.
Link 3 into Transcode using CodeTalker in hand. Here you're going to be able to grab your Signet Conflict because it's your Signet special trap you're searching. But if you already have Conflict, you can search Signet Mining for Fallout next turn. Transcode will bring back your Sunlight Wolf. You can activate the Sanctuary, relink into another Sunlight Wolf, and then Sunlight Wolf can add back whichever of the traps you sent to the grave. And now you have 3 guaranteed forms of interruption. You have Rage, you have Conflict, and you have a Trap Negate with Lingaribo.
Okay, so how many interactions are we looking at there? That's
3, and neither of these can be targeted.
Yeah,
they're both getting 500.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, I normally you're like looking at this plus 2 other like random cards in hand. There were many games where I had like Ash Veiler and then did this, so it was like that's like 5 interruptions.
Running into X hand trap and then like 2 Omni negates on field, a trap negate. I mean, you're sitting pretty.
Yeah, I should move this over because it's a bit of a glare. But
no, you're fine. Totally fine.
I had to play around the Mech Knights in this combo tutorial.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, very important. Make sure Blue Sky, very prominent meta threat at the moment.
True.
Yeah. All right. So that's a pretty standard combo for you. You did that, I assume, probably a few times at the regional.
Yeah. Definitely won me a lot of games because like you just put up like 5 interactions and your opponent just can't do much.
Yeah. I mean, hey, that's sometimes all you really need, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah, and then on like the next turn, you just like play around the Beeroo. You just like leave these off into Heat Soul, draw a card, then you just normal summon, dump, go into access code game.
And then win. Yeah. Yeah. What do
Because
you? What,
this co-link to access code makes your access code not be able to like be targeted, and then they're both boosted by 500, so it's 81 damage
yeah.
total.
So like that's actually fantastic because sometimes people will Valor on res on access code or Imperm on res on access code. Well, you can't do that if it's being co-linked with transcode.
Yeah, that's a really important part about it. Is you never want to just auto lose to things that like target.
Right. Absolutely.
More times than not at the regional, I would be safe about it and I would commit to that, and then I would just get into Beard and I would be like, okay, well,
Yeah, that sucks, but
I took the safe line to play. I can't really be mad.
Yeah, true. I mean, sometimes safer is just better.
Yeah, you really just don't want to get your access code stopped. But yeah, that's actually it for the deck profile. Kind of short but sweet. But
yeah, absolutely. Any shout outs you want to do for real quick? I mean, this is going up on your channel, so.
Yeah, shout outs to Juan for driving me.
Hell yeah, just one.
And I got wings after that event, so I felt pretty happy.